Next up, the Spectator who threw a cap at Matteo van der Poel's wheel during Paris-Roubaix insists she didn't do it on purpose.
What?
However, a new video has just surfaced this week that shows the race from a different angle, and it's led people to question whether the woman is telling the truth. If you missed it, TV cameras caught the moment a cycling cap was thrown from the roadside towards Van der Poel's bike. He was completely unharmed and thankfully didn't go down. He also went on to secure a solo victory in the race. However, the incident was spotted by outraged fans, and the French Cyclists Union said that they are going to find the culprit and take action. A woman then came forward, and it turned out she was a corporate guest at a VIP tent where various companies had invited clients. She very quickly lawyered up and put out a statement saying she took responsibility but insisted that there was never any intention to harm or sabotage the world champion. She even said that she is a fan of his. However, this new footage, which appears to have been taken by a spectator on the opposite side of the road, clearly shows her holding the cap by her side and then chucking it at Van der Poel's direction just as he passes. So it's raised some fresh questions. At this stage, the Riders' Union investigation is still ongoing and we'll have to see what happens. I've looked at it and it is absolutely outrageous.
As if the second video is needed to confirm, because even in the first one, you can see she's like waiting and then throws it.
I feel like you can't see it as much. I think that there was a question mark over whether you could just be kind of like, yay, and it flies out of your hand. But I think the second angle, speculation, she denies it, but it seems to show she's literally holding it by her side and then flicks it out at the wheel.
Like Spider-Man style.
Literally, yeah.
There is lots of reasons why you would want to affect the results of a race.
Exactly.
However, to play devil's advocate, if you wanted to cause a rider to stop being able to cycle anymore, a cycling cap is a bit of a weird way to do it.
I wonder, so we were talking about this and we were saying, what are the more serious implications of stuff like this? And we were saying cycling is one of the few sports where spectators actually can affect the outcome of the race. And you have to wonder about stuff like match fixing. And I mean, again, this is not necessarily related to this incident. We don't know yet what's happened or what her intentions were. And, we might never know the real answer to that. However, if you wanted, theoretically, to place a bet, whether it's on Matthew van der Poel to go down or whatever it is, then you can legitimately affect the outcome. Perhaps a cap is seen as a way, if you literally just poke a stick in his wheel, to be pretty obvious what you're trying to do, whereas maybe
you could claim
like,
I was just excited to throw my caps around.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. This is all speculation, but generally there needs to be a harsh crackdown on. And this also wasn't the only incident. There was people throwing beer at him. There was other stuff happening as well. And there's been people questioned by authorities.
He's had that a few times. A lot of people really don't like him.
Yeah.
Especially, I guess it's in people who are like in the cyclocross races, massive Wout van Aert fans.
Yeah.
And then they'll like throw beer on Van der Poel.
I just think it's so interesting. People. There is a lot of money in this sport, and therefore there's a lot of money in the betting of this sport. Mm-hmm. And there's been massive match fixing scandals in other sports, and in other sports where it's usually directly on the competitors because that is the only way you can fix the matches. But this is, as I say, probably one of the only sports where spectators legitimately can affect the outcomes.
It's interesting, isn't it?
That was when we used to do Belgian kermesses. Am I going to get in trouble with the Belgian mafia here? We were told as young riders, like, just look, watch the selection. The more races you do, the more you work out who are the people that are getting in the break are. And then when the right people are in that break, the selection is made and the race basically gets shut down from riders blocking and not chasing anymore. So it's all based on betting, basically.
Really?
Yeah. So there'll be people in there making sure the riders who are going to, that were favourable bets were up in the breakaway. So you had to work out who those riders were and then like follow them if you wanted to get a result. It was all very...
That's so dodgy, man.
Yeah.
It's interesting how many sports there's been like betting scandals in.
Loads.
And I'm not aware of any notable ones in cycling.
And this is the thing, you don't want to stop the atmosphere of a race. And the nature of races means you're going around the countryside and you can't have barriers up everywhere. But
is it? I want to say this is okay. Right, pure speculation here, and I might be recalling this wrong. This is another Van Rysel. I'm sure Patrick from Lanterne Rouge is not allowed to bet on things because he's so good at predicting race results.
He might be banned from a bookies or two, but they wouldn't be able to just blanket.
I think this is information that Lawrence has told me, so unreliable. However,
it sounds like a load of
props. It's a cool
trout.
rumor, though, isn't it? I wish people would. I wish I was so good at something. Someone would be like, "Yeah, no, he's banned from that. He can't do it because he's too good."
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Why don't you ask him?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Message him. You message him?
Yeah, I'll message him.
Message him now and say, is it true that you're banned from? And then we can provide the answer.
Rather than rely on Lawrence.
Okay, I'll message him.
And we will provide you with that answer when we have.
When we have it.
Also, did you see, shout out to Philippe, I believe his name was Philippe, who sent us this story. People have been stealing cobblestones from the Paris-Roubaix route. There is literally a massive hole in the ground where people have just stole the cobblestones.
Is it specific sections? Is it like Arenberg Forest?
It's something with Carrefour in the name.
Oh,
Carrefour
Carrefour. Yeah. That's the other really hard section.
Yeah.
I would imagine it happens all the time, to be honest.
They're also, like, there's definitely parts of Flanders or Roubaix that have been paved over. And, like, the council just have made them smooth, which ruins the race. They just have to, no point in going down that road anymore, is there?
It's like Butthole Road. I'm sure that road sign has been stolen a million times.
Perhaps. I also feel like I should apologise to the listeners because there was at one point we said we weren't going to talk about pro racing. However, what I've come to realise is when the pro races are on, there is literally no other news other than this. So I'm doing my best to find the most interesting stories out.
I've got sucked into it.
Yeah,
I've been
we're all watching
skewed
it
by
now.
this, my own podcast now. I'm watching pro racing and enjoying it. Outrageous.
So we will in fact be covering some. We're not going to cover it in great analysis, but if there's any interesting highlights, then we got no choice. Until someone releases some other weird tech stuff, then this is what we shall be doing.